Okay, so what we've just done is we put in our tangent plane a minute ago. And now what we need to do is I actually need to I'm going to draw a sketch on here. So again, I'm going to go back to the far left and I'm going to choose create sketch. I'm going to choose where I want to draw it and I'll draw it on this new plane here. Again, I'm just going to move my model around, okay? And what I've got here is I actually want to outline these grooves here, right? Well, how I want to use this, before we use the line, that's just a straight line. This time what I'm going to use, now this is one of my favorite things to use in Fusion. I use them all the time. Probably should be better at it really, but it's called a fit point spline. It's basically a curvy line. You can kind of curve it how you like, right? So I'm going to go ahead here. I'm actually going to start it just outside the body here. I'm going to follow it here. Now what you'll start to see, if I start to click points, it'll start to curve its way around and you can kind of follow it into there. And then what you can do is you can kind of actually start to kind of detail out the shape that you want, right? Now, don't worry too much because we can come back in and edit this shortly. So I'm just going to kind of get a very basic, I think, outline. Now, I would say don't put too many lines in because it will be a little bit difficult. And all I've done is gone ahead and click the tick button there, right? Now, the reason why I like these is actually I can start to move these points around. I'm just going to click OK on there. And what you can start to see is actually I can start to just move them around all these different points until I'm happy with about where I'm going to be. Now, obviously, it doesn't need to be, I don't think, uniform all the way through, but I can start to play around with those, right? And start to move my points where they are. Equally, what I can do here, and they have these things here, these are called tangencies. So this is essentially how steep you want your line to be. So I could kind of change how steep I want it at different points there. So that's my fit point spline. Am I happy with that? I don't think that's too far off, and I can always come back and change this later on. So for now, happy days. And that's my fit point spline. I'm going to finish that sketch, press my home button, and in a moment, I am going to show you how to use that to cut out some grooves. Should be good.